So hi guys, this is one of the biggest paranoias that dudes have, the kiss, the moment. And what they forget is, the majority of what people think about kissing and dating is simply wrong. I don't know why it should be, and this is very commonplace in any area of life, is the majority of you is generally the wrong one. For some reason, the real truth, the real knowledge about how to get good at stuff, about the real skills that you need to acquire in order to excel in any endeavour in life, are kind of hidden. I don't know why this knowledge wants to be hidden in this way, but I don't know, perhaps it's just a crazy, surreal, comic journey of life that we come into the world ignorant, with a whole bunch of wrong preconceptions, misconceptions of the way things are, and the journey is to figure it out. And this is one area where, I spent 20 odd years figuring it out, because I watched too many Adam Sandler daft sentimental rom-coms. I've absorbed 4 Weddings and a Funeral and Notting Hill and all that culture of the 80s and the 90s, when I was a gentle young snowflake at university. And that whole kind of baggage, for some reason, has conditioned the entire world. Now more than ever, now that we live in such a sort of a feminized society, at least in this area, the sexual dynamics is concerned, and the knowledge is just hidden and secret. So what is this hidden secret knowledge? The kiss ain't important, my friend. Yeah, what is far more important, don't worry, I am going to come on to some tips and tricks, because, obviously I'm saying this slightly tongue-in-cheek, and ka-ching, do refer to 52 First Dates, Date 1, which is where I've derived the knowledge from this vlog. So obviously I will come on to talk to you briefly about the tips and the tricks, but that's the first thing to really understand. Yeah, the date is about gradual, gentle, physical, intimacy, playfulness, moving things forward ultimately to the bedroom, and there's just 101 different little ways in which you can generate that physical intimacy, which will just take the burden of kissing off of the date completely. Now I'll be doing further vlogs on this, but hand holding, a massively good one. Checking for tattoos. Is she a musician? Is she an artist? Let's compare hands. Oh, you play the piano. Oh, you must be good on the guitar. Whatever. You crack a joke. You put your hand on the small of her back. You inspect her jewelry. I'm regularly doing this. I'm a fucking jewelry junkie when it comes to girls. I get quite fascinated by it. I forget about what I'm doing. I'm sort of fascinated to inspect the jewelry. I was on a date with a girl the other night, and she had this beautiful little seashell necklace, and I sort of started to tell a story, and I moved my hand forward. It's a little bit undercover, this stuff. You are talking and joking and being playful and having a look at her jewellery. Oh, you must have been to Seychelles. You're obviously a well-travelled, rich girl. You're probably a sporty surfer, or are you a beach bum and you sit on the sand with your fat novel and your cocktail and your big wide goggle sunglasses and your hat, waiting for some dude to come along and hit on you? Ha ha ha, sexualising the date. And while you're doing that, you're looking at the jewellery, you're caressing her. If she doesn't like it, she'll let you know, and you just roll off and you have a normal conversation. But the point is, you do need to make these little mini steps, spikes as it were, during the course of the day as you're moving things forward, and there are a million and zillion ways of doing that. Alright, so hopefully that's taken the kind of the weight of having to kiss a girl on the date. It's still nevertheless important to attempt it, at least on the first or the second date. So how do you go about doing that? Well, there are the tips that you may have heard of before, such as, making sure you're at the right location. Yeah, don't be, doing it within 30 minutes in the coffee shop, and there are hundreds of people around, and you've only just met. But when you're at a second venue, let's say, and the lights are down, and you found a sofa, and you're together, and it's quite quiet and it's quite intimate, that's the time to shut up and to start to think about kissing. And, you know, long silences are good at this stage. Yeah? Hopefully by this stage, she's in a second venue, she's going to be relaxed and she's enjoying your company. That's why she's there. She likes you. So now you just dial it down and, you know, you playfully touching, you can pull her in, you know, point to a couple of people over there that look a bit funny. Oh, there's a goth on a date with obviously a lawyer with a briefcase. That's funny, isn't it? I wonder what their story is, and you pull her in as you're saying it. You start playing with her hair. I think it's very important. Eye contact is very important. You know, look at her with a grin, a puzzling, mysterious grin in the eye, and look from one eye to the other and down to her mouth and back up to her eyes, and then, you know, move in for the kiss. Don't worry, don't panic. And that is probably as much as you need to know. Now, there is another way of doing it, and that's being a little bit more socially savvy and playful. That's something that I like. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and that's where I'm actually making it a little bit of a parody, I guess. So I've had a lot of success with this, where I will simply say to a girl at the right moment, what are you like as a kisser on a scale of 1 to 10? Obviously it needs to be the right moment. You might have teased her about, hang on, have you ever been on a date with a guy? When was the last time? Let's say she's just come out of a long-term relationship and she's going, oh, I don't do this often. And you is this your first time? Is this your first time? You know, and then what you like as a kisser? I mean, like, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, and she'll go, oh, 7 or 9, and you go, okay, well, let's just see. And then you pull her in, and if you're smiling as you do it, I've had this work a lot actually, and it just breaks the ice. You don't need to kiss her for long. You just have one little kiss or two, and that just relaxes both of you, and that could occur, you know, halfway through the date. It's such a magical thing that I've just, you know, enjoy those moments so much, and I enjoy sort of tweaking that little routine from time to time with different girls on different dates. And then, you know, you can sit back and you relax, because at the end of the day, although I've said that the kisses is important, your idea about it being so important, and her idea about it as well, and her nerves, can all be settled by a little playful kiss in that way. Alright, so I would just finally say, this is the kind of the general caveat to any dating advice, is that ultimately there are no rules. And a day gamer that I used to know called Yad was very good at this. I interviewed him a couple of years ago. He was really good at stressing the importance of your vibe being up. Okay, and when your vibe is up, you really can get away with anything. And he did. I mean, he's not oil painting, Yad, and he's got a little bit of weight, and, you know, you would not put him in the lead role of a Hollywood romantic comedy. But he had remarkable success with creating a great vibe, often off the back of good conversation, such that the girl would wake up the next morning and used to say this to me, and she'd say, God, I don't know why I'm with you, you're such an ugly fucker. But this was after, you know, they'd enjoyed a night together. So the vibe is king, yeah. And on the date that I tell the story of 52 First Dates, date 1, the vibe was there, and I was surfing a wave. And what happened was, I had a date with a Russian girl who was being a right little madam. I decided, I might as well just set up a date with this new girl I've just made immediately after the date with the Russian girl. Now, the Russian girl date was hard work. When it got on to the new date, it was the first date, I was like in a good place. I was like ready to rock and roll. They virtually crossed each other in the corridor. I mean, I don't make a habit of stacking dates, but quite frankly, when you're dealing with a Belarusian madam and princess who expects you to be a little bit of a walking wallet for her, yeah, why not? You're out to meet girls and kiss frogs and date girls. You're looking for a relationship. You've got to go out there and meet a lot of girls. So now, we had 40 minutes, quite a short first day at a coffee shop location. This was in Krakow, in Poland. And then after that first day, I bounced, to use a technical term, to a really seedy vodka bar. And that created the right magic. And after that, we were walking along the street, and it's actually snowing. It was quite a mild winter's evening, and I just suddenly stopped her because it had been such a good vibe, good conversation. At the first venue, walked to the second venue, then stopped her in the street and say, you know, what are you like as a kisser on a scale of 1 to 10? And just came out with it. And I said, don't worry, I'll just give you a little Eskimo kiss. And I moved in and I kissed her properly, and then she reciprocated. And it worked because the bubble was there, the romance, the vibe was there. So I think if you are in that place, you really can literally get away with anything. There was one girl who I kissed her within a minute of having met her on the first date. I took her around the corner and I said, look, let's just get the kissing thing over with, and then we can relax and enjoy each other's company for the rest of the night. What are you like as a kisser anyway? And there had been a lot of chemistry in the street when I met her during the daytime, so much so that I felt that was the right thing to do. Obviously you need to judge these things and use your discretion. Yeah, but if it's there, you've got to go for it. You've got to grab your balls, you bastards, and you've got to go for it. So I hope that's been of value. Next up, I'm going to follow the series 52 First Dates series, the silver bullets of dating wisdom that I've gleaned from that crazy time of my life, and talk about date flaking, and how to deal with that. Bye for now. Oh, and buy my books, you bastards.